literally said this. There's no reason why you ain't just use data breach to clear your repo, your charge off, bankruptcy, repossession, like you owe Amex, you owe Care Credit, you ran off on Navy, you done ran off on PenPay. What the fuck else you gonna do? Because you can't wait 7 years to get this shit off.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're in business, there is a way, there's a methodology that you have to follow. There's an etiquette that you must have. And running off on the plug is not one of the tactics that you want to employ. Today, we're going to talk to those of you that are in business, not business, business, to help you understand what it is that you must be able to prove if you want to get a loan to purchase residential real estate. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process. Lego. I've been getting a lot of self-employed applicants recently, and everybody wants to know, how much money do I need to show in order to qualify for a home loan? What I want you guys to understand is this. First and foremost, your income as a self-employed person must be consistent and predictable. Those are the two tests that we as lenders must be able to satisfy in order to lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you can't meet that test, then you're going to have a problem. Let's look at a couple of things. The first thing you have to understand is, are you in business? And an LLC does not make a business. We got to get that out of the way. If 25% of your income or more comes from or in the form of commission, we as lenders are going to want to see your tax returns for the last 2 years, because there is a large factor of your income that is unpredictable. It's not predictable. And so you're not a business person or in business for yourself, but a large portion of your income is commission based. So you have to be prepared for that. If you own 25% or more of a company that's paying you, we're going to want to make sure that your income is consistent and predictable. We're going to want to see those tax returns. If you have a partnership or something of that nature, other folks have to get involved. So these are things that you want to understand up front before you move forward. If you're an S Corp, a lot of people like using the S Corp for tax purposes, so they're not double tax. We want to see all those things that are associated with that. You might be paying yourself W-2 from that situation, but it all flows and makes sense. The numbers tell a story. If you're a C Corp, 1120S's. And then if you're just a sole proprietor, just business for self in your name, you should have a Schedule C. And so that's important to understand, because a lot of people don't realize if they're in business for themselves or not. Now, I will say this. The most important thing that you have to do is you have to find a lender that you know, like, and trust. Why? Because you're going to have to work together with said lender. And if you have a CPA or a tax preparer, those folks, along with yourself, have to work together, especially if your CPA or tax preparer or yourself have taken advantage of the tax laws to prevent having to pay taxes. But the gotcha on that is, if you wanted to go out and secure a loan to buy real estate or to leverage real estate in the traditional sense, where you get the best interest rates and the highest leverage, you're going to have to prove that your income is consistent and predictable. You have to trust those professionals. The homework is this. Do all of the due diligence up front on the professional that you choose to work with. And once you pull that trigger with that professional, stick with them. Because what happens is you get confused. You might hear something here that says this, and you're trying to piecemeal things together, and you don't know a lot of things that you don't know because you're not in the space. That's the most important thing that you have to do. Pick somebody and stick with them. The next thing that you have to understand, once you determine if you are in business yourself, and you can start gathering all of these documents, if you pick the right professional, they should be telling you what it is that you need. You have to allocate the proper amount of time that is going to have to go into this process because you do not have the traditional file. You have nuanced situations and you can't get an answer in 2 seconds. So you have to be patient. Therefore, you have to plan. Remember, planning is associated with wealth building. Reacting is associated with a poverty mindset and outcome. The biggest issue is this: commingling funds. What's commingling funds? When your revenue comes in from your business, it's going into your business account. And if you have an S Corp and company that processes your payroll, ADP or Paycor, a lot of different companies out here now, and paying you a W-2, that's fine. But that paycheck gets cycled every month based upon your pay frequency. And then the pay income goes into your personal account. The revenue from the business doesn't go into your personal account. So it goes into your business account. And from there, it goes where it needs to go based upon how you set up your company. That's a business. When you do that, then we can follow the money. The reason I showed the young lady initially is because a lot of you guys have the mindset that you think you're getting away with something. You're not getting away with anything. You're wasting a lot of time. This is why a lot of lenders, when you reach out and they see your information initially, don't even call you back because either one, they don't know how to read the documentation and follow the money, or two, it's just too complicated. And there's plenty of folks out here that have their stuff together and they don't have to deal with you. But I will. I'm one of those guys. I've been around a long time and I'm the people's champ. I like to help you out. This is why we're doing this video. So don't commingle funds. Long story short. Here's the second thing, because you're in business. And as a business owner, if you don't want to pay taxes, understandable. But as someone that is making a decision to lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars, we're going to do so with the understanding that your income that we're going to give you, we have to make sure that it's going to be consistent, meaning that just because you made it this year and the year before, are you going to continue making it? Is it predictable? So understand that because you're a business owner. If you write everything off, however the business returns flow into the personal return, all of the tax strategies, it's really simple. There's a few things that we as lenders can credit back or give you back into your income if it's applicable, but the majority of the income that you're going to need, if you go traditional, you're going to have to pay some taxes on it. If you plan and not react, this is something that you and your team can get done. So 1 year, if you want to go traditional and get the lowest rates and the highest leverage, you might have to pay some taxes for a year. If you write everything off, then there is no money because we believe what you told the I, R, and the S. Understand that up front. And so if you are in that camp where you're taking full advantage of the tax code and you're not paying taxes, shout out to you. That's why America is one of the great places to be if you understand the game and you're playing it. I'm not mad at you. But here's the last thing. If you play that, where's the money? Right? You must have money. Everybody wants to say I'm in business and I got all these structures and all this stuff to hide, not to pay taxes, but there ain't no money. The money's not in the business account. The money's not in the personal account. And like the young lady said in the beginning, most of y'all have run off on the plug. You ain't paying nobody. You just consuming. And so that's a problem, business owner. Because if you write everything off and we can't go traditional financing, traditional funding, then there's options. There's options to everything if you're dealing with the right people. And that option would be a non-qualified mortgage where you could possibly do a P&L, profit and loss, a 1099, a debt service coverage ratio, asset depletion. The less you put down, the higher the interest rate. The more you put down, less risk, the lower the rate. The interest rates are never going to be as good as the rates would be on the traditional option. Being in business is great, but just like everything in life, it's about how you're able to prove what it is that you're stating. My mentor, I mention her often when I do these videos. One of the best lessons and one of the ones that have always stuck with me is this. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. If you're a business owner and you said, you know what, Robert, I understand what you're saying, and I need some help finding out how much home I can afford based upon my current income picture, so that if it's not where I want to be as far as purchase price, we can devise a plan of action to get to that point. And you're the lender that I know, like, and trust. Thank you for that vote of confidence. The next most important step is this. We need to have a conversation to see if there's a fit. You do so by clicking the link in the top pinned comment or in the description of this video. If you're not ready to take that step, you can continue to educate yourself. These next 2 videos will be excellent in your education until the time you feel comfortable to reach out. Let's be good to one another. Let us let grace abound. Indeed.